idea was to find a family in this area, Westchester, Playa del Rey, that needed assistance, couldn't take care of their home anymore for whatever reason, whether it was because they were sick or they had a crisis in their family. And then we would come in as Rotarians and members of the community and fix the things that needed to be fixed in their home.
We chose the Ricks family after looking at a number of other possibilities over the last 6 to 9 months. And I think what it came down to in our selecting the Ricks family was the story and the fact that the family had been involved in the Westchester community for many, many years. And because of that, we thought it was such a special story, what happened with him passing away as he did so suddenly, unexpectedly. And just as I anticipated when we announced that we had selected the Ricks family, the community response was truly overwhelming because they had themselves been involved in the community for so long.
And frankly, the best part about this home was the family. This was a family who obviously underwent something really traumatic with the death of Tim Riggs. And they had been a family that had given back so much to the community that it really made sense for the community to give something back to them.
And Westchester, you may have already figured out by now, in the heart of a big city like Los Angeles, is an incredibly close-knit community. It really feels like a small town in many respects. And that's one reason that I love living in Westchester. I didn't grow up in Westchester, but I can tell you that I couldn't imagine living anywhere else because it really feels like a hometown.
My name is Mike Alexandros and I'm from Westchester. I've lived here for about 25 years. When I came to the States from England, I sort of missed the village sort of community atmosphere, and Westchester sort of has that. So it makes you feel homely or cozy.
Well, this particular home on 82nd Street is in the middle of a lovely residential area. It's a family that we had met and in interviewing a number of families that were in need. Karen Ricks is a lovely, very supportive advocate of the community. She's a church member of, I believe it's Visitation, and sings in the choir. Her children are adult children now, and they've all participated in all the organizations, I believe, sports. And Karen's husband had passed away, and he was a very involved member of the Knights of Columbus. And with his passing, the family was devastated, and we all came forward and had heard about her story and felt good. We knew Karen, we knew also Karen's husband, and we all felt we could do something here that really made a difference.
Well, you know, day one is basically seeing the family off and then getting the house on, which takes a while. We had a lot of volunteers help out. And once that's done, it's really starting the demolition phase, both inside and out. And that was pretty much what happened on day one.
Day one was essentially tearing the old landscape out. We came in and got all the trees trimmed. Timberland Tree Company came in and helped us out quite a bit with removing all the overgrown hedges, grinding stumps, and basically just tearing it out. Like emptying the house, we emptied the landscape on day one.
Day one was get the chimney down and get the demolition material out of the way, and then start framing the new part of the deck, and also to get the kitchen demoed out so they could start with the cabinets. So that was a priority for me on day one.
The condition of the house was, there was some cracks in the stucco. The house needed to be repainted. There was no gutters along the roof line or gutters that were falling down. The back deck was not usable really in terms of she didn't have a grill. There was this old fire pit that really didn't work for outdoor cooking and entertaining. And the kitchen was in disrepair. The floors, the The tiles were cracked, the cupboards were not workable, not enough. The kitchen was too small. The carpet was worn down, the hardwood floors were worn down. It was a well-used home.
Day 3 and 4, we get back into the volunteer part of the work where people are showing up, helping with a lot of painting, inside in particular, but also on the outside, and also with just kind of odds and ends jobs that require a lot of people to help out. Organizing and reorganizing things in the garage and throughout the house. And it's great to see the volunteers all working together.
A big part of the project is to bring our community together, to have neighbors helping neighbors, and that's a large part of it. But in the end, it's about the family, and the family having a second chance with their house and being able to live their lives the way they want to, and that's a huge part of it.
Day 6, in this case, was the day the family was coming back, and so we're not pretty close to being done by the end of the day on day 5. Day 6 is going to become a real problem, a challenge. So we had by far the largest amount of volunteers on day 5. A lot of Boy Scouts, community volunteers, Knights of Columbus, and the like. A lot of landscaping, a lot of people working in both the front and the backyard, clearing, planting, a lot of painting going on inside the house, moving in the appliances, finishing up with the cabinets and some of the framing issues. Plumbing was going on as well, and we made a lot of progress on day 5 as we needed to. Literally from 7 o'clock in the morning till probably 11 o'clock at night, a lot of work was going on. By the end of the day, on day 5, I felt pretty confident that we were going to be in good shape for the reveal on day 6.
I mean, the highlight to me, as I'm working throughout the week, I'm staring down at the floor or looking in a hole in the ground or whatever, so I don't see the big picture until the very end. And then there's this sort of transformation where it goes from a construction site to a house and a home, and that was just amazing to me. I thought it was mind-blowing.
Well, the interesting thing about day 6 is the family's coming home. And really today is the day to complete the project. It's got to be done. And so everybody's working really hard, pushing to get things done. And you recognize at some point, you've got to stop painting so the paint can dry. You've got to stop taking stuff out because you got to start putting stuff back in. So you're starting to move things back in the house, organize the furniture, organize their belongings.
I absolutely love the living room. I just think that really came together so well, and the fact that now she walks in and has an entry because we closed off the door, it just makes that room so cozy and beautiful, and the way the light comes through the windows, I think looks fantastic.
But the best part for me was seeing the look on Karen and her family's faces when they saw their new home, really.
Well, one of the highlights was absolutely Jonathan when he saw his room and he saw that he got a Mac computer, and just the look on his face that he could finally go out on his deck and actually open the doors and windows in his room. And he was just, he choked up, which in turn made me want to ugly cry, but I held it back.
When they arrived, we were ready, and it was great. It's what really makes what we do so worthwhile is what we call the reveal.
We'll figure out the rest later. Actually, Jeff said that.
Thank you so much. I don't think I could. There's no way to repay this except, we'll help 2 years from now, because this was paying it. We're happy to pay it forward. This was just overwhelming, and the community here is so wonderful, and I wouldn't live anywhere else. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
We all know that, if people were in opposite situations, Tim would be at that house too.
Yes, yes, he would.
And that was a big thing with a lot of people here. I'm about to cry because he was that kind of man.
Yes.
You guys are that kind of family. Absolutely.
The thing I appreciate about Rotary is it's 1.3 million people around the world who are dedicated to service above self. And every Rotary club does that in their own way. And it brings people together in our community from different walks of life, different professions, different political views, different religious groups that are focused on just making the world a better place to live and putting others in front of themselves.
Yeah, I think service to the community has always been an important thing. Even growing up, my parents always taught us that you have to give back to people who are less fortunate than yourselves, and you have to do what you can to help build the community, and I try to instill that in my kids.
Part of the fun is meeting the people. There's such great people involved in this project. The Rotary Club has wonderful people associated with it who get up at 4:30 in the morning to get their regular job done and come and volunteer here all day. People who are retired and want to give back.
Doing this project, I'm so passionate about my work, but not because I get to work with such wonderful people. The Rotarians are just some of the most amazing people that I've ever been in company with. There's no ego involved. Everybody's just doing their part, and it just flows so beautifully. So I really, really enjoyed that.
I think that there's an element of just solidarity with the people you're helping, whether they're present or not. I think kind of just understanding that we're all in this communion together, and it's not, one person trying to help another because they're better than them, but really just acting as one together to make some sort of positive change.
Well, I'm a member of the Rotary Club. I got involved through a friend who was, but they're a great bunch of people. They're committed, they're dedicated to getting things done and getting a good result out of it, and they're fun to work with. So for me, it was a no-brainer.
If you really want to feel good, I really believe in giving, and you get back what you give. And in Rotary, you're able to do that. It's so you're surrounded with people the same, and they're very, very giving and service above self, no recognition needed, and somehow our reputation speaks well for ourselves. People come forward to help.
When we have our meetings, people sit down and talk, and we have a break in the meeting where after we introduce our guests, we sing a song, and everyone gets up and gives everyone else a hug or a handshake, so you have that connection with every person in the club, even if momentarily for a little bit, to say, I'm your friend, I'm here for you, I'm glad we're together in this one place, and that's what makes us the friendliest club in District 5280.
Just want to say to the Ricks family, thank you for the courage that it took to hand us the keys, walk away from your house for a week, and trust 175 Rotarians and community members to take care of it. So welcome home.